Every year, millions decide to escape the 9-to-5 grind, only to find a self-improvement landscape that splinters into 1,000 different directions. On one side, you have Robert Kiyosaki, offering a specific philosophy on wealth accumulation. On the other side, you have James Clear, providing a framework for daily optimization. You have limited time to read and implement. So do you fix your macro financial strategy first, or your micro daily routines? Trying to pick a winner between these two doesn't work because they operate on different scales. They are different tools designed to solve different phases of growth. Achieving a high return on the hours you spend reading comes down to diagnosing your own most urgent operational bottleneck today. Think of Rich Dad Poor Dad as the blueprint. It dictates your final destination and identifies the exact target you should be aiming for. Atomic Habits is the engine. It is a framework that dictates how efficiently you travel, regardless of where you are going. This comparison matrix shows exactly how these tools divide the workload. Kiyosaki targets your mindset and wealth, focusing on fixing your direction. Clear targets your mechanics and consistency, focusing on fixing your velocity. To change your life trajectory, you must admit whether you are lost without a map or sitting in a vehicle with a broken engine. Let's start by evaluating Kiyosaki's blueprint. This balance sheet illustrates his critical framework, the difference between assets and liabilities. Once you understand that an asset puts money in your pocket and a liability takes it out, you shift your goal toward acquiring vehicles that generate cash flow. This requires a shift in perspective. You have to stop viewing your time as something you trade for a paycheck and start viewing your capital as an employee that works for you. Kiyosaki's approach is effective because it challenges the safety of traditional employment, changing how you evaluate the trade-off of your time for a paycheck. The trade-off here is that Kiyosaki's philosophy is almost entirely conceptual. It gives you a world view but lacks a daily execution plan. Looking at this quadrant chart, we can plot Rich Dad Poor Dad high on macro impact, but extremely low on daily actionability. This level of abstraction often traps readers in analysis paralysis. This lack of specificity becomes a concern when paired with the book's advice to use leveraged debt to acquire assets like real estate. Taking out a loan to buy a rental property accelerates wealth generation in theory. In practice, it introduces vulnerabilities to your personal finances. When we apply a risk heat map to our chart, the danger becomes obvious. Executing these leveraged plays without deep external financial education exposes beginners to significant downside. You receive a final destination, but you are forced to navigate a financial minefield without a step-by-step guide. James Clear's framework addresses the specific problem of execution. This gear mechanism represents the core of his book, the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. When this system spins into motion, it generates consistency. You build positive routines through small, engineered adjustments to your environment. But the mechanics only work because of a deeper concept, identity-based habits. Instead of focusing on an outcome like, I want to save $10,000, you focus on shifting your identity to, I am an investor. Your habits naturally follow the person you believe you are. Atomic Habits takes abstract goals and distills them into automatic daily actions. Upgrading yourself into a highly efficient execution machine has one limitation. The system is completely domain agnostic. Bringing our quadrant chart back, Atomic Habits scores high on daily actionability, but it sits neutral on macro impact. It makes you productive, but it won't teach you how to analyze a stock or build a business. You also have to factor in the patience required. This line chart illustrates the plateau of latent potential, a flat stretch where daily systems yield almost invisible progress before eventually curving upward. If you are in immediate financial distress, waiting years to see the return on your micro habits can be frustrating. Clear provides the systems for building discipline, but the responsibility of choosing which specific path leads to wealth remains yours. So, which book gets your time today? Let's run a diagnostic. We map this on a decision tree asking, what is your primary bottleneck? If you trade time for salary and need to understand capital, you're an aspiring wealth builder. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you know your targets but lack discipline, read Atomic Habits. Identifying your exact stage of development prevents you from wasting months studying a map when you actually need a spark plug. The highest return on your investment comes from sequencing both philosophies. Step 1 is using Kiyosaki's financial frameworks to change your worldview and define your target identity. Step 2, immediately apply Clear's science to build the daily microsystems required to become that person. Strategy without systems is just a daydream, and systems without strategy is just a treadmill. Identify your exact bottleneck today. Pick up the corresponding tool from the table and begin your execution immediately.